people were feeling uncomfortable to talk about oil and gas. And they thought they are not part and parcel. And finally, they started asking us how safe they were to talk about oil and gas.
In the past, the community members would be intimidated and they would never speak up. They would be threatened and they would just sit back.
It took us some time, but later on, when they saw us speaking about it boldly and having had all clearances to go into the research on oil and gas from President's Office, from ministries that regulate research, and we were all moving with our letters, and we were confidently talking to GSOs, DSOs, the RDCs, chairpersons, LC5, COW. So we were confident, and when these people learned from us, the confidence started generating.
When we attended the first meeting with the MYJ, Multi Jamii, we shared some rumors. By then it was rumors. We shared the fear of losing our land, the issues of land grabbing, issues of lack of information, and the communication on environment. We are developing fear because already we are seeing indicators that our water was not yielding as it used to do. And in the layman's understanding, we were linking it to the oil and gas. And it was becoming more of an indicator that we may be falling into problem. But there was nobody for us to share that experience with.
MYJ Jamii's experience is that in virtually every community, there are those people who are leaders, who are change agents, the ones who speak and things will move. The ones who, when they speak, people will listen. And so, choosing the representatives that would attend the multi-stakeholder forums, it was fairly easy to make the criteria. If you just tell them that the criteria is we are trying to create a forum where your views can come into that forum. And you can also collect other views and take them back. Who in your community is the kind of person that who knows your issues, can take them to the forum, listen to what is going on in there, participate, and bring back your views?
There's a lot community wants to learn. So during community meeting, decided to nominate some people.
The community members selected us to be their community leaders. So within that, we could call the community members, we sensitize them with these people from MYJ.
Initially, it wasn't me among the two which were nominated because I was away and they never wanted us to be nominated in absentia. So it was the chairman and one other. But when they attended the forum for the first time and saw value of the forum, then the chairman decided to come back and conduct another community meeting. And they say there is value in that meeting I've attended, the multi-stakeholder forum. But he feels there is a gap, that there is need for somebody knowledgeable also, so that the community's picture can be shared in that forum better. And we held a meeting here in the community with them, and the people, by consensus, said yes, let's drop one person and bring on board Alfred. And that's how I came on board. And I had to attend the following one, multi-stakeholder engagement.
Actually, when we meet with different stakeholders, we always tell them what is happening in our area, how the oil companies are doing their activities.
They give us opportunities to talk freely. We engage them. We ask them questions and they answer us there and then.
They help us in organizing for stakeholders, multi-stakeholders forum. From there where we used to engage and meet different stakeholders like local government, representative from central government like Ministry of Land, people from Mineral and Petroleum Development, people from Chief Government Valuer, and even oil company. So from there we used to engage with these people. From that one, that is why we benefited from MYJ to bring us together so that we can present all our issues directly to those concerned people.
We have seen that there is a lot of trust people have developed in themselves, they have developed in MYJ, they have developed in the government and other institutions. Because we're able to talk freely, we have to share our views. If it is shouting, we shout there and we clarify the issues. And that is actually pretty much the advantage and the beauty of these engagements. This approach introduced by MYJ, I think, is very, very healthy.
At times there is need to have somebody who puts in pressure by guiding the communities so that the communities can raise their voices. And at the end of the day, government will say, I think there is a problem. They will address it faster than when you local government bring up issues to central government and there is no alarm somewhere.
You know, it's a privilege to be listened to. There are people who can speak and no one cares. But if you come from a particular civil society organization, you need to understand and appreciate that you are privileged. Now, it's important to use that privilege very well.
At MYJ, we support parties that are unable to fully express themselves at any point in time, especially because of the power dynamics. We secure their space by backing them, by encouraging them to speak up, and by drawing attention of others to listen to them, because it's necessary for them to be listening to each other.
In the multi-stakeholders forums, first of all, you have to come with the ground rules to make sure everybody is catered for, everybody is free to say what he's supposed to say.
Our role over time is to actually safeguard the space for speaking, to allow everybody an equal opportunity to express themselves, including creating an affirmatory, what we call sauti ya kina mama, to allow the ladies to speak. Even though we have an arrangement that brings in a number of women, it's also true that a number of them still do not talk as much as they will. But once they do, they have very critical information that they share or questions that they ask.
The communities sincerely didn't know where to address their problems. Even if they were to address those problems to the district also didn't have enough information to do with oil and gas, until we had to come together to make sure that we all admit there is a gap. So, to me, the communities have benefited.
About 2 years ago, I returned to MYJ to help plan an impact assessment of their work. We began with a multi-stakeholder meeting in Hoima. I was stunned by the dialogue. Every person in this meeting understood the stages of oil production and had a clear sense of its implications for their livelihoods.
MYJ is still helping us, more especially on issues of communication. Yeah? We had no information, we could not get clear information from these government offices, but we get information. Sometimes they call us to come and meet those people from the government, from the Ministry of Energy. So we can get clear information now.
It's very, very key that the communities get very good information and the country moves together as we try to achieve Vision 2040.
We always keep record. We have been given file. When we have a community meeting, we have to write the agendas and even minutes recorded very well and kept into our file. And even if we go for multi-stakeholders meeting, we also note important point and we bring back to our community. And at time they give us some handout for referent purposes and we read, then we can bring back that information to our community here.
It was realized that there was an information gap. There was no linkage. Central government, the Ministry of Energy would do activities without the knowledge of the district, and the district would not know what goes on in the sector. Besides, even the local communities would not know. Like they didn't know who is it the district doing this? Is it the Minister of Energy? Is it NEMA? So the issue of information sharing was key.
The districts also have been very, very key in addressing issues. They brought out, some of them were grievances, some were issues which were not very clear to them, and clarity was drawn by different stakeholders who involved in this. So, for sure, these engagements have been very, very, very useful.
By that time, we had no information. People could come from center, they go direct to the community. We were asking information, they were saying it is the ministry which is supposed to handle issues concerning the oil. But we were arguing also that we are also leaders. We are local leaders. There is no way how we are going to the community when you have not informed us, when you have not passed at the district.
People had to perceive the way they felt they should simply because they lacked information. And they lacked places where they could meet and interact and exchange and ask questions and get answers. So we took them on as Maendeleo ya Jamii.
The approach of MYJ to stakeholder engagement looks like it makes it difficult for MYJ to give one-sided information. That's what I've learned. Because the approach of MYJ is to bring all stakeholders together to share information, raise questions. The questions raised can be answered by different stakeholders depending on the level of understanding that they have.
The MYJ intervention says, please, this is how the process is. Be patient, and that is why I think the suspicions and the confusion on the ground is actually dying. It is because they provided a direction for our people to follow.
Communities learned and accepted that local governments were innocent entities. And they also learned that the ministry people were lacking the information from the bottom, from the local governments. And yet they were thinking they were doing the best. So all in all, when President's office came in, said, yes, this is what we are lacking. We are lacking this kind of system that can make people informed, bring views, balance them, inform the ministries, ministries inform people, so that we move together.
MYJ has had especially training of stakeholders, talk about the airline committees, and then training of the district officials by bringing these relevant ministries to directly share information with the member districts, with the communities, and with the other partners.
We continue to applaud MYJ for the Multi Stakeholders Forum that they continue to support. This really unearths so many things, and it's one of the activities that has really helped to let community know what we are talking about as a resource, as a wealth in this country is coming, but not tomorrow, not today. So people now know it's a process. Oil is a process, not something coming tomorrow.
The forums really add a lot of value. We want to maximize the opportunities of the forums that Maendeleo has set up with the district leaders to inform all the different stakeholders. They have also released done some very good research, released some very good findings, which we found very useful as a company. It's with working with Maendeleo ya Jamii that we can utilize the forums that exist to educate people about some of these things.
We have been regularly receiving translated versions of these oil and gas documents, policies, which were circulated to us by MYJ.
They give us the updates, giving us updates on the progress of oil and gas sector, the future plans, and these ones help the communities, first of all, to know what is expected in the future, but also the districts to plan and prioritize according to the incoming programs.
Even though we have not received some funds, but when they facilitate us and we get the information, when they facilitate our community, they get the knowledge, they learn how to tap the opportunities of oil and gas, we have benefited.